The time is 6:48 a.m. Thank you for staying with us as polls across Georgia get ready to open for early voting. We're taking a closer look at what's changed since the 2020 election for voters. You'll likely remember all eyes turned to Georgia when former President Donald Trump pushed for state officials to overturn the election results. Since then, the state has put a new voting law in place that Georgia's Republicans leaders say will help maintain the integrity of the voting process. This morning, we take a closer look at what this means for you and your vote.
Rathensburg, it's something really strange with him. Your rhino governor, Brian Kemp, who's been a complete disaster on election integrity.
That's former President Donald Trump back in 2021 continuing to question Georgia's election results. Those numbers helped President Joe Biden carry the state and become president-elect. You might remember back in December of 2020, the Georgia Secretary of State's office certified the election results for a third time. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger repeatedly stated the election was not stolen, and several independent investigations found no evidence that voter fraud affected the outcome.
Here in Georgia,
with President Biden in office, the focus shifted back to election integrity, and Georgia Republicans passing Senate Bill 202.
The elections had been getting tighter and tighter and tighter over the years. But this raises a specter of suspicion for a lot of people who were not accustomed to Democrats winning statewide races.
Chris Grant, a Mercer University professor of political science, says absentee ballots helped lead to more voting in the state. But Georgia's Republicans say their new law fixes loopholes in the voting system.
Georgians want to have confidence in the elections process. Democrats, Republicans, and people that are not affiliated with a party, they want to have secure, accessible, fair elections, and that's what we have in Georgia.
While others felt the law infringed on the rights of voters.
We're calling it Jim Crow 2.0. It's simply a reflection of some of the former things that were put in place to hinder us from voting. And that was.
So how does this new law impact you? Some of the points include when you apply for an absentee ballot, you must supply an ID number like the one on your Georgia driver's license. The law limits the number of absentee ballot drop boxes. It also tightens the window for requesting and mailing your absentee ballot, and it revises the time for early voting.
I would, however, argue that there was probably a need to restore more confidence in the electorate. It's not okay for only the people that win to feel like an election was fair.
Grant says no matter who you vote for, it's important to just vote as we head into the May primaries. Professor Grant says that Georgia ranks as one of the lowest states when it comes to voter turnout, so it's important that everyone gets out and vote. Now, if you need to find your polling location, you can visit the My Voter page on the Secretary of State's website for more details. In Macon County, there are 2 sites open for early voting. Let's check back in with our morning reporter, TJ Anthony, who's been at one of those polling sites all morning. So, TJ, what do the people need to know if they plan on voting early today?
Good morning, Wanye. We just noticed that poll workers are starting to show up now. What people need to know is that there are 2 voting locations in Macon-Bibb, right here on Pionona Avenue and also the Elaine Lucas Senior Center. Early voting for Bibb will run today through the 20th, and the polls will be open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Wanye, back to you.
Well, thank you so much, TJ, and you'll be providing us with updates all morning. You have 2 Saturday voting options here in Bibb County. That's May the 7th and 14th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sunday voting happens on May the 15th.